Golf might be the only sport where you can hit a worm burner, find yourself in jail, and still make a sandy on the same hole. The game's vocabulary is so strange that even seasoned players sometimes have no idea what they're saying. Did you know that Army golf has nothing to do with the military? Or that dead soldiers on the course aren't nearly as morbid as they sound? In this video, I'll break down golf's most bizarre terminology. Strange phrases, weird expressions, and head-scratching lingo that make this sport sound like it has its own secret language. These aren't just random slang terms, they're the colorful expressions that reveal golf's rich history, peculiar traditions, and unique culture. And the most surprising part? Some of these phrases are so old that nobody's quite sure how they originated, yet we still use them every weekend. Number 1. Army golf. If you've ever heard someone describe their round as Army golf, they're not talking about playing on a military base. This colorful term refers to a round where you're hitting the ball left, then right, then left again, like a military cadence. Left, right, left. Army golf is the perfect description for those frustrating rounds where you can't seem to find the fairway, alternating between slices and hooks with maddening consistency. The phrase's exact origin is unclear, but it riffs on the left-right-left cadence. Next time you're zigzagging your way down the fairway, embrace your inner drill sergeant and call it what it is. Army golf. At least it sounds more dignified than admitting you can't hit a straight shot to save your life. Number 2. Breakfast ball. One of golf's most beloved unofficial rules, a breakfast ball is an unpenalized mulligan, specifically taken on the first tee. The name comes from the idea that you're just starting your day, and everyone deserves a second chance with their morning coffee still kicking in. While purists might scoff at this casual rule bending, the breakfast ball has saved countless rounds from disaster before they even begin. There's nothing quite like the psychological relief of knowing that first tee jitters won't necessarily doom your entire round. The tradition varies by region and group. Some allow it only for the first player to tee off, while others extend the courtesy to everyone in the foursome. Either way, it's a small mercy that makes the game more enjoyable for recreational players, even if it would never fly in competition. Number 3. Dead soldiers. Despite the morbid-sounding name, dead soldiers has nothing to do with actual military casualties. On the golf course, this term refers to empty beer cans or bottles scattered around the course or collected in a golf cart. It's bar slang that migrated to the course. The origin likely comes from the visual similarity between fallen soldiers on a battlefield and empty bottles lying on their sides. While not the most tasteful metaphor, it's become entrenched in golf's casual vocabulary, particularly among weekend warriors who enjoy a few beverages during their round. If your foursome leaves behind a lot of dead soldiers, you might be having more fun than your scorecard suggests. Just make sure to clean up after yourselves, as abandoned empties are one of the surest ways to annoy course management and other players. Number 4. The Stimp. When you hear someone say, "These greens are running at a 12 today," they're referring to a measurement from the Stimp meter, a device invented by Edward S. Stimpson, Sr. in 1935. The USGA standardized its use in the late 1970s. The number indicates how many feet a ball rolls when released from the device. What makes this term particularly interesting is how it's evolved. While the official term is stimp meter reading, golfers have shortened it to stimp and turned it into both a noun, "What's the stimp today?" and a verb, "These greens are stimping at 13." During major championships, greens often run around 13. Augusta doesn't publish official numbers. The next time you're struggling with your putter, check if you're playing on greens with a professional level stimp. It might make you feel better about those 3 putts. Number 5. Fried egg. A fried egg is a plugged lie in a bunker where only the top of the ball shows, like the yolk in a sunny side-up egg. It makes explosion shots tricky because the club has to dig the ball out of packed sand rather than slide under it. This descriptive term perfectly captures the visual appearance of a partially buried ball in the sand. The challenge with a fried egg lie is that you can't use the standard bunker technique of bouncing the club off the sand behind the ball. You need to hit more directly at it, often with a steeper angle of attack. Next time you find your ball nestled down in a bunker with just the top showing, you can impress your playing partners with your terminology even if your bunker play leaves something to be desired. Just tell them you've got a fried egg and watch them nod sympathetically. If you're enjoying these bizarre golf terms, hit that subscribe button right now and turn on notifications. I'm constantly uncovering the strangest and most fascinating aspects of golf that even longtime players often miss. Drop a comment below telling me the weirdest golf term you've ever heard, and I'll explain what it means in golf lingo. Now, let's continue with more head-scratching golf terminology that will make you sound like a pro at the 19th hole. Number 6. Texas wedge. Despite its name, a Texas wedge isn't a wedge at all. It's when you use your putter from off the green, typically from the fringe or even the fairway. The term supposedly originated with Texas golfers who preferred to putt rather than chip in windy conditions. This strategy makes sense in many situations. When there's no obstacle between your ball and the green, when the fringe is smooth, or when you simply don't trust your chipping. The low-risk approach often produces better results than an ambitious flop shot, especially for amateur golfers. The regional naming follows a pattern in golf where techniques are associated with their place of origin, similar to a Scottish shot, a low running approach, or a Florida finish, leaving a putt short in hot conditions. Next time you reach for your putter from 10 yards off the green, proudly call it your Texas wedge and pretend it was a strategic choice rather than fear of chunking a chip. Number 7. Cabbage. When a player describes their ball as being in the cabbage, they're not talking about a vegetable garden. They're referring to extremely thick, nasty rough that's almost impossible to hit out of. The term comes from the visual similarity between dense rough and a head of cabbage. Different regions have their own variations on this theme. In Scotland, particularly difficult rough might be called gorse, though true gorse is actually a thorny shrub. In the American Midwest, you might hear it called the spinach. Whatever the vegetable reference, it all means the same thing. You're in trouble. The next time you find yourself searching for your ball in grass so thick you can barely see your shoes, just tell your playing partners you're in the cabbage. It sounds slightly more dignified than admitting you hit a terrible drive. Number 8. Frog hair. Frog hair refers to the fringe area around the green, where the grass is cut slightly longer than the putting surface, but shorter than the rough, also called the collar or apron in formal terms. The name comes from the visual comparison to fine, delicate amphibian fuzz, though I've yet to meet a frog that would confirm the accuracy of this description. This area presents a unique challenge to golfers. Too short for a chip but too long for a smooth putt, the frog hair requires finesse and decision-making. Some players opt for a bump and run, others try putting with extra force, and the indecisive might switch clubs 3 times before finally hitting. The term has been around since at least the 1950s and remains one of golf's most colorful and descriptive pieces of slang. Next time your ball stops just off the green, you can impress your playing partners by lamenting that you've found the frog hair. Just don't expect actual frogs. Number 9. The dance floor. When golfers refer to the dance floor, they're not suggesting a post-round trip to the club. This is slang for the putting green, where all your hopes and dreams either come true or get crushed into a fine powder. The metaphor is apt. Like a dance floor, the green is where the real action happens, requiring rhythm, balance, and occasionally some fancy footwork as you try not to step in someone's line. It's also where most golfers experience their highest emotional highs and lowest lows, much like a high school dance. The term likely originated in the mid-20th century and has remained popular, particularly among older golfers. Next time you hit a great approach shot, tell your playing partners you've reached the dance floor. It sounds much more accomplished than simply saying you're on the green. Number 10. Snowman. A snowman is an 8 on a hole. The number looks like a little snowman on your card. It's one of golf's most visually descriptive scoring terms and, unfortunately, one that many recreational golfers are all too familiar with. The term perfectly captures golf's self-deprecating humor. Rather than simply recording an 8 and moving on in shame, golfers have created a whimsical image that somehow makes the disaster slightly more bearable. There's something oddly comforting about telling your playing partners you made a snowman, rather than admitting you took 8 strokes on a par 4. If you find yourself penciling in an 8 on your scorecard, embrace the snowman imagery. At least it gives you something to smile about while you're adding up that disappointing total at the end of your round. The bizarre terms we've explored represent just a small sample of golf's rich linguistic tradition. From army golf to snowmen, these colorful expressions do more than just describe the game. They reveal golf's unique culture with its blend of frustration, humor, and occasional moments of brilliance. What makes these terms so enduring isn't just their descriptive power, it's how they connect golfers across generations and skill levels. When a 25 handicapper and a scratch player both talk about being in the cabbage or using a Texas wedge, they're sharing a common language that transcends their different abilities. These phrases also remind us that golf, for all its formality and tradition, has always maintained a sense of humor about itself. In what other sport would players describe their terrible shots as worm burners or snowmen? This self-deprecating wit is part of what makes golf such a unique and enduring pastime. The next time you're on the course and someone uses one of these strange terms, you'll not only understand what they mean, you'll be part of a linguistic tradition that stretches back centuries and continues to evolve with each new generation of golfers. If you found these bizarre golf terms entertaining, smash that subscribe button and turn on notifications. I'm constantly uncovering the strangest and most fascinating aspects of golf that even longtime players often miss. Drop a comment below telling me your favorite golf term from this video, and I'll see you on the course.